got some important contributions to make based on your experience, your enthusiasm, and judging by your response to me today, your great sense of generosity and fair play. Thank you.
It was not designed with this. It is also the only car that the government ever said is a safe vehicle. The other one was ever studied that was determined to be safe. I might add that in that same report, they did address the heater problem. If you did not maintain it, you would get fumes in the car, and I'm sure all of us out here have had that instance one time or another where we let our maintenance go beyond the point. And I find your last comment very interesting. As you're talking about the lack of a handling standard in the industry, we have 25-year-old Corvairs at this point in time, right now, out of Prince George Community College on an auto class, proving that these cars handle very well. And we have been doing this for 21 years, and we haven't been able to turn one over yet. Time left at the end. Ralph has agreed to answer a few questions. We do want to acknowledge that you've done an awful lot for auto safety. It's nice to see the little guy taking on the giant and make some progress. You're right that a lot of lives have been saved if they would have done their thing a lot earlier. It's unfortunate it has to go that way. But we appreciate your efforts, and we commend you for that. Ralph, would you like to take any questions?
Would you like to confirm a statement, Mr. Nader, that has been made about you that you don't even own an automobile?
Saying such an accusatory. Last automobile I owned was a 49 Studebaker. People had trouble trying to figure out who was going forward or back. Yes, it was. Not recently. No, I wouldn't think it's a novel experiment. I did years ago when we were working on it.
I don't so much have a question as an observation on the very opening of your comments about selecting the Corvair because of the engineering opportunity it offered. And the closing, where does the Corvair Society go from here? I think we've seen today that you and this group may be a little bit closer on the issue of auto safety than we may have all suspected. Because our reason for existence, and I think it still will be 10 years from now, is celebrating the engineering of the Corvair and the engineering opportunity it represented. It's just an observation on my part, no question to go with that. But thank you for coming.
I might add that on the Corvair heater exchange, GM did send out a notice to all 61, 69 owners, and it really was different on the cars in the sense that it didn't have a fail-safe system. It came into the passenger compartment. You shouldn't have to maintain something so preliminarily in order to make sure you don't get a gas with CO. Yes?
In your opinion, what would you consider the most safe car available today to the American public?
Well, it's hard to have an informed opinion on that because the government crash tests cars, but you know it's still at that 30-mile-an-hour fixed barrier, which is a way outdated performance. They should at least go to 40 miles. 25 years ago, it was 30 miles, and they crash tested at 35 miles. But if they crash tested at 40 or 45, you have a better idea. So we have to go by little bits of evidence here and there. And you'll see that the conclusions vary that the government issues every year, but they don't mean as much because it's just crashing them at 35 miles an hour. And the difference, the models might be quite different in terms of where they rank, if it was 40 or 45. But I think we have to say the Mercedes and the large Volvo are pretty much up there.
If you were to buy a car, would you buy one? Buy a Mercedes or a Volvo, or what would your personal choice?
Well, my personal choice, I would like to buy a U.S. car, but they're making it very difficult. I've got 10 celebrities signed up who have pledged to buy the first car that has full front seat standard equipment airbags in a production run of 200,000 or more per year. That's to avoid having to buy a Lexus or a Mercedes. In other words, a middle-class car. And Dustin Hoffman, Dan Aykroyd, Dear Abby, Paul Newman, Steve Allen, they've all signed they're going to buy a car, the first car that comes out. And the first car that does come out, full front seat airbag system, is going to zoom near the top in terms of the crash rate. Assuming it's not a very lightweight car, it's going to be right up.
So,
Yes,
are you inhibiting human evolution by saving people who are not smart enough or fly an optional airbag?
Gee, you're quite a harsh person. I've heard arguments for capital punishment. The question was, in fact, you want to repeat the I forgot exactly how you phrased it again. Human evolution. Am I not inhibiting human evolution?
By protecting people.
By protecting people.
That are not smart enough.
That aren't smart enough to put on a seatbelt. Or buy an optional safety equipment or airbag. See, my point is that anything should be optional, should be style, not safety. Safety should be standard equipment. Then, if you want to put the curlicues on, the Gugas and so on, go ahead and pay extra. But for years, they switched it. They built safety in at no mean cost. I mean, a third of those muscle cars in the 1950s, a third of the retail price can be attributed to the very expensive angle model style chain. And instead of that, they said, okay, here's a stylized car, folks, and if you want safety, you've got to pay extra. I don't think that's a corporately responsible thing to do. And also, people have been under different impressions on airbags. Sometimes they're misinformed. They think they're going to be sliced in half. You know, GM opposed the three-point belt in 1969 on the grounds that it would inflict severe internal injuries and be a negative safety factor. And we overcame their opposition to a mandatory three-point belt by appointing to Volvo's 60,000 accident database with three-point belts in Sweden, showing the overwhelming positive safety factor. That's the only way we could overcome that. So, some people get scared. They get claustrophobic. They think they're going to be trapped. And you never want to penalize people who, for a variety of reasons, don't use these safety features when in the course of everyday driving, they're going to be penalized quite severely. We really don't have to add to it. That's why we go for automatic safety features. So you don't have to, no one has to say, well, I got to put a belt on. You get a seat belt, you get an airbag, it's passive. Passive safety features are by far the best way to go. I mean, it's nice to know how to deal with a car and skid on wet pavement. But it's also nice to have anti-lock braking.
You mentioned the airbags again, and you kind of gave the impression that seatbelts aren't required with airbags.
No, they are.
If they are, then why not, in the same vein as you mentioned with interlock system in there and make people use seatbelts?
Well, you know, the interlock system was ignited a rebellion in the 70s because you couldn't start the car.
Motorcycle companies.
Right. You couldn't start the car. They now have better automatic systems, except that you got to make sure that you don't go for the bad ones that are on the market, where you put the automatic thing takes care of your shoulder, but you don't manually put on the lap belt, and then you really got danger. Especially if you're a certain body size. In a crash, you only have the belt across the shoulder. Byron Block is here, and he knows a lot about these automatic belts. If you want to go further with him. It is conceivable to have really good automatic belts that don't have this kind of problem. But I think that eventually the airbag is going to replace everything. You're going to have side airbags, front airbags, and the function of the belt is going to be reduced very significantly. Right now, the main function of the lap belt is keeping you being ejected in case the door pops open. If you have an airbag. If you have an airbag, the main function of the lap belt is really to keep you from being ejected. And there are other ways to do that, stronger door latches, for example.
Was the lady just decapitated not too long ago because she didn't have a lap belt on?
Yes. I mean, that's what can happen. Exactly. And there are quite a few cases in the courts now. And the auto companies who produced that kind of atrocious combination knew what they were doing. I mean, I think a whole book could be written on the struggle inside the auto companies between the auto safety engineers who knew how to do seatbelts properly and conveniently, and the stylists who kept pushing them around and saying, you can't do this because of that. Remember the early three-point belts of Ford in the 70s? It was so difficult to use. You have to find it just right, put it in, and then you looked around and you said, look at the European cars coming in the same day from Europe. Very easy three-point belts to use. You can see there's a lot of struggle going on over 3 pennies here, a styling factor there, that have made a mess out of some seatbelt design. Yes?
Are you aware of any airbags that manufacturers could be retrofitted to a car like a Corvair?
Yes, am I aware of any airbags that could be retrofitted into cars, older cars like Corvair? There's a company in Arizona that was working with a joint venture with a Japanese company that wanted to retrofit airbags. And they retrofitted some airbags in, I think, California highway patrol cars. And then they gave up. And I think the reason is the cavity isn't there. That it costs an enormous amount to get the cavity right so they can put the airbag in. And most cars, not all of them, most cars don't have those cavities. There are a few cars that have those cavities when they downsize, the cars in the late 70s. But it's like saying, well, can we put a radio in a used car? You gotta say, we gotta have the cavity. If you don't have it, it doesn't go in. But that is an insuperable obstacle. It just raises the cost. So
We have a lot of room in the front. We have a glove compartment.
well, you know what I
It would be an
mean?
interesting turn of events.
It would.
A car that
Yes.
perceived as being unsafe and turn it around and make it.
Make it one of the safest used cars. You know what we're doing in the fall? In the fall, late fall, we hope to have the first dinner honoring the airbag inventors. We've got a list of about 30 of them who had some role in the refinement of ignition.